Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita
Jaya
Chandra
Jaya Jaya
Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय। श्रील
Hare
कृष्णदास
Krishna.
कविराज गोस्वामी की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, my dear devotees. I welcome you all to today's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita session. Thank you very much for joining. Today is February 5th, 2020. Well, in India, 2026. For you, it's February 4th, I think. Today, here it is the disappearance day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Actually, the appearance day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. We are completely indebted to our acharyas for the gift of Krishna consciousness. They have chalked out the way for us. So we offer our heads at the lotus feet of our Acharya Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. And we will continue with our Chaitanya Charitamrita reading. We are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 9. And this chapter is entitled Lord Chaitanya Travels to Holy Places in South India. Actually, the previous chapter, Mahaprabhu already, we've been reading even from the previous chapters that Mahaprabhu is traveling in South India. So the previous chapter was the conversation between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. And in this particular chapter, chapter 9, we see how Mahaprabhu visited various holy places. So we saw Mahaprabhu went to Gautami Ganga. Then he visited Mallikarjuna, Lord Shiva. Then he went to Skanda Tirtha. And then from there he went to Siddhavata. Siddhavata is the place where this Brahmana who chants the names of Lord Ramchandra day and night resides, and he invited Mahaprabhu to his house to take lunch prasadam. And then Mahaprabhu accepted prasadam there and he continued on further south. And Then Mahaprabhu went to, actually, first he went to Siddhavata and then he went to Skanda uh, Desh. And then coming south, he turned around and started going back. And once again, he met this devotee, but now he had transformed. Instead of chanting Rama's name, now he's chanting Krishna's name. And Mahaprabhu asked him, how come? What has happened to you? So he explained how since childhood he was always he was very fond of collecting the glories of the holy names from Shastra. And he also quoted the verse that said that chanting 1000 names of Lord Vishnu equals chanting the name of Lord Ramchandra once. And chanting the name of Lord Rama 3 times equals chanting the name of Krishna once. He knew this before. However, he was attracted to chanting the names of Lord Rama. But when in the association of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, only once he chanted the name of Krishna. Since then, because of the mercy of Mahaprabhu, now that name Krishna doesn't leave his tongue. He's constantly chanting the names of Krishna like this. So then he also said, I can understand that you are that Krishna. And he fell on the feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu blessed him and continued traveling. And then Mahaprabhu went to Vriddhakashi and then came to this village where most of the people residing in this village were Brahmanas. And Brahmanas had various philosophies that they were following. Uh, there are 6 darshanas, uh, Nyaya, then Vaisheshika philosophy, uh, then there is Vedanta philosophy, um, Patanjali, the yoga Vashishta philosophy of Patanjali. Then there is one more, Karma Mimamsa of Jaimini. Like this, there are different darshanas there or philosophies that are based on the Vedas, and these people would come to debate with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defeated all of them on the basis of Vedas, Vedanta Sutras. He defeated them. And when they were defeated, they all started chanting the names of Krishna. Even those who were chanting the names of Lord Ramchandra, who were the followers, those who were Tattvavadis. Tattvavadis are followers of Madhvacharya. Then there is the followers of Ramanujacharya who were chanting the names of Lord Ram. They also, when they came in contact with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they started chanting the names of Krishna, Hari and Krishna, like that. So in this way, in South India, there were so many philosophies, but by the influence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everyone turned into Vaisnavas. Hearing this, many non-devotees, non-believers, they came to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu along with all their followers to uh, defeat Mahaprabhu, to debate with him. So amongst them was this leader of the Buddhists. He came. And actually, the Buddhists are atheists because they don't believe in the Vedas. So even though it was not proper for a Vaishnava to speak, to debate with the Buddhists. It's not right. It's not proper. Still, Mahaprabhu wanted to show his mercy. So therefore, he engaged in a debate with the leader of this Buddhist followers. Then he put forward his 9 tenets of the Buddhist philosophy, which we have discussed thoroughly in several sessions now. We are not going to go over them now. But because their philosophy was based on logic, Mahaprabhu also defeated that philosophy based on logic. He was not quoting from Shastra because they don't accept the Vedas. One of the tenets is Vedas are compiled by human beings, therefore, Vedas are not the authority. That is one of their 9 tenets. So, Mahaprabhu was not quoting from the Vedas because they were arguing on the basis of logic. Mahaprabhu also, on the basis of logic, completely defeated them. So, now we will see what happened after that. So we will The verse that we read previously was text 49. Maybe we can see that also. I'll just read the, huh? So I'll start from 46. When the non-believers heard of the erudition of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they came to him with great pride, bringing their disciples with them. One of them was a leader of the Buddhist cult and was a very learned scholar. To establish the 9 philosophical conclusions of Buddhism, he came before the Lord and began to speak. Although the Buddhists are unfit for discussion and should not be seen by Vaisnavas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke to them just to decrease their false pride. Okay, so why did Mahaprabhu speak to them? Of course, you see, mercy can come in many different ways. It's not that only when somebody puts a garland on you, then it's mercy. A Vaishnava can give mercy by chastisement also, by cursing also. Mm? By slapping also, the Vaishnava can give mercy. So here, Mahaprabhu wanted to reduce the false pride of these Buddhists. But that crushing of false pride of these Buddhists by Mahaprabhu is also his mercy on them. We will see how that happened. So Mahaprabhu spoke to them. It was not fit for Vaishnavas to even look at them. Still, Mahaprabhu engaged in a debate with them simply to decrease their false pride. Text 49. The scriptures of the Buddhist cult are chiefly based on argument and logic, and they contain 9 chief principles. Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defeated the Buddhists in their argument, they could not establish their cult. So Mahaprabhu, using their technique, which was logic, completely defeated them. Let's see what happened after that. बौद्धाचार्य नव प्रश्न सब उठाइला दृढ़ युक्ति तर्के प्रभु खंड खंड कोइला. Bauddha Acharya, the Acharya of the Buddhists, Nava Prashna, Saba Uthaila. So he raised their 9 arguments. The 9 questions or arguments he put before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Dridha Yukti Tarke Prabhu Khanda Khanda Koila. Based on strong logical arguments, Mahaprabhu completely defeated their 9 tenets. The teacher of the Buddhist cult set forth the 9 principles, but Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu broke them to pieces with his strong logic. दार्शनिक पंडित सबाई पाइलो पराजय लोके हास्य कोरे बौद्ध पाइला लज्जा भय. दार्शनिक पंडित सबाई पाइलो पराजय. So darshanika, darshanas means the philosophies, various philosophies. Remember, there are 6 prominent darshanas or philosophies which are based on the Vedas. However, they are also speculations. Speculations means, as I told you, they're based on the Vedas, but they come up with their own goal of life according to their understanding of Vedas. So somebody says, for example, what is the goal of life? Atyantika dukkha nivritti and atyantika sukha prapti. That means reducing the miseries of life. That is the goal of life. And atyantika sukha prapti, right? Get, for example, karma mimamsa means it's work is worship. You work, you earn, and you enjoy. This is the goal of life. So dharma, artha, kama, this is there in the Vedas. So based on the Vedic principles only, they come up with different goals of life. But are they the reality? No, because they're all speculations only. Okay. So darshanika pandita means philosophical speculators. Sabai pailo parajay. Everyone was defeated. All these various philosophical speculators were completely defeated in their own coin. So whatever their platform was, their basis of argument was, On that platform itself, Mahaprabhu completely defeated them. So if they were arguing on the basis of Vedas, Mahaprabhu quoting Vedas defeated them. And in the case of Buddhists who came arguing on the basis of logic, based on logic, he defeated them. Everybody was defeated. Hmm? So Darshanika Pandita Sabai Pailo Parajay Loke Hasya Kore Bauddha Paila Lajja Bhai. Now these Buddhists became ashamed and fearful that people will laugh at them because they're defeated. In a debate, they come, especially if you come with a lot of pride. They came to defeat Mahaprabhu with all this Buddhist Acharya came with all his disciples and all. And when he got completely crushed, obviously he'll feel humiliated. So he was afraid, all the Buddhists were afraid that everyone will laugh at them. So they were feeling ashamed and they were fearful. All mental speculators and learned scholars were defeated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when the people began to laugh, the Buddhist philosophers felt both shame and fear. So people were actually laughing. And when they were laughing, they were feeling ashamed and also fearful. Purport. These philosophers were all atheists. So here we are talking of the Buddhists. The 6 darshanas that I told you, they're not atheists. I told you the other day also. Atheist means one who does not believe the Vedas. Theist is one who believes Vedas. Atheist is not one who does not believe in God. One who does not believe in God is called Nirishwaravadi. Nirishwaravadi. But one who does not follow the Vedas, who does not accept the Vedas, he is called an atheist. So these philosophers were all atheists. Which philosophers? The Buddhists. They were all atheists. Mayavad philosophers are not exactly atheists because their philosophy is also based on the Vedas. However, Mayavad philosophy is called covered atheism, covered, because they say, yes, there is absolute truth from the Vedas, but they twist and they put forward their own philosophy that the form of the Lord is made of Maya. It is, after all, made of the modes. So the living entity and Ishvara, the living entity is nothing but the reflection of Brahman on Antakarna. Antakarna means the subtle body. So subtle body, which is made of the modes of passion and ignorance. Try to understand. The subtle body means it's made of chitta, buddhi, mana, indriya, right? Senses, mind, intelligence, chittam. This is subtle body. And there are so many subtle bodies, right? My subtle body, your subtle body, his body, her body. So many subtle bodies. Each one is different, isn't it? Based on your karma, you have a certain type of subtle body. So why there is such a variety of subtle bodies? So this absolute, so they say Brahma Satyam. The only truth is Brahman. Then what is the explanation for all this variety of bodies in this world? Then what is the explanation for the body of the Supreme Lord, the various avatars? What is the explanation? The Mayavad philosophy is Brahman, when reflected on subtle bodies, antakaranas, which are made of the modes of passion and ignorance. Brahman reflected on the modes of passion and ignorance. Okay? Modes of passion and ignorance means subtle bodies made of passion and ignorance. Brahman reflected on subtle bodies made of passion and ignorance is called Jiva. This is Mayavad philosophy, by the way. This is called Jiva, living entities. It can be cat, dog, human being, demigod, anyone. This is nothing but Brahman reflected on passion and ignorance, antahkaranas, or subtle bodies made of passion and ignorance, that is Jiva. And the same Brahman, when reflected on the mode of goodness, is Ishvara. Brahman reflected on the mode of goodness is Ishvara. Ishvara means Lord Vishnu, Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, everyone. Reflection has no existence. It's not reality. It is just a reflection. So, therefore, they say this world is false. Jagat Mithya. Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya. So, in this world, whatever you see, any type, whether you see trees or different forms, everything is false. It's not real. Real is only Brahman. And then, what about Lord Vishnu, Lord Ramchandra, all the avatars? Yes, they are slightly better than the jivas because they are in the mode of goodness. Goodness is better. So Brahman reflected on goodness is Ishvara. But ultimately, that is also a reflection. So you have to get rid of both. The only reality is Brahman. So you see, although they claim to be followers of the Vedas, but by twisting the meaning, they put forward this Advaita philosophy, which is actually blasphemous. They're saying the transcendental body of the Supreme Lord is also Maya. Because what is Maya? These three modes is Maya: goodness, passion, and ignorance. The Lord's body is made of goodness, they say. So that is why Mayavad philosophy, technically you can say they are theists because they are followers of Vedanta. They have their commentary on the Vedanta Sutras also called Shariraka Bhashya. However, Mayavad philosophy is called covered atheism. And Buddhist philosophy is atheism, outright atheism, because they don't accept the Vedas. And then I told you the other darshanas, they are based on Vedas. So now, Srila Prabhupada is writing in the purport, these philosophers were all atheists the Buddhists who were defeated. For they did not believe in the existence of God. Atheists may be very expert in mental speculation and may be so-called great philosophers, but they can be defeated by a Vaishnava firmly situated in his conviction and God consciousness. Following in the footsteps of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, all the preachers engaged in the service of ISKCON should be very expert in putting forward strong arguments and defeating all types of atheists. Yesterday, Atulya Harinamananda Prabhu asked a question. Is it important for us to understand the philosophical arguments and the technicalities, or can't we simply practice, like the gopis in Vrindavan who were very simple and they had this love for Krishna, day and night chanting the names of Krishna. Can't we become devotees like that? Can we still achieve the goal by doing that? So yesterday I explained that to be able to do that, there is a qualification. Yes, that is the highest. Gopis are the topmost devotees. So to come to that point, you have to start, like if you want to reach the highest floor of a building, you have to start from the bottom and you have to climb the stairs and then go there. Sometimes devotees say, no, we can go in the lift and directly go on top. What is that lift? This itself is that lift. 24/7, if you are Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Namaiva Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva, 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 Gatir Anyatha. In Kali Yuga, there is no other way, no other way, no other way. There's only Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Namaiva Kevalam. The names, the holy names of the Lord is the only way. So yes, this is the elevator. This is the lift which will take you to the topmost. But how should you do that? For you to do that, you need a qualification. Now, with great difficulty, we are able to maintain 16 rounds of chanting Hare Krishna every day. Once we finish 16 rounds, then we are like, oh, I have so many other things to do, this and that, isn't it? Are we really hankering to just chant more and more, looking for every opportunity, even after you complete your 16 rounds? When can I chant more rounds? When can I just keep chanting all day long? Yes, that is Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Eva Kevalam. That type of faith is required in chanting the holy names of the Lord, that this is my only shelter, then what will I do? Even if for some reason externally chanting is not possible, in my mind I will be constantly chanting Hare Krishna. I will be taking shelter of the holy name because I have faith in that. So, but when we don't have, either I have faith or I have taste, one of the two things. One who has taste will naturally be chanting all the time. But if he doesn't have taste, then he should have faith, strong faith that this is my only protector, this is my only savior. I don't have any other savior. So, with that faith, he will be taking shelter. But when we don't have faith, then what do we have to do? We have to build that faith. So all this exercise of understanding philosophy very scrutinizingly is to get that firm faith so that we can take that elevator of continuously chanting the holy names of the Lord, like Haridas Thakur did. He is the Nam Acharya. That is the standard, 24 by 7. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam means your bhakti, not only holy name, you can do others also. There is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padas. You can be hearing, studying Bhagavatam, you can be chanting, speaking, or you can be remembering, you can be worshipping, cooking for the Lord. There are many angas of bhakti, 64 angas of bhakti are there. You can be doing any of these. But that devotional service should not be covered by jnana and karma and others. What does that mean? Not being covered by karma means you don't feel that doing karma is required in order to do bhakti. Unless I do my duties as a householder, unless I do my job, how will I pay my bills? How will I survive? Only when I have all this in place, then I'll be peaceful and I'll be able to chant. If that type of consciousness is there, that means my bhakti is covered by karma. That's one type. Seeing the dependence on karma, right? Bhakti, you make bhakti dependent on karma. You take karma's help to assist bhakti and feel that unless I do karma, I cannot do bhakti. Bhakti cannot, I cannot, you will hear this also. You simply sit and chant all day long. Is Krishna going to come and give you your food? People will challenge like that, isn't it? So that means that faith is not there. And someone else may say with lips, yes, yes, Krishna will give. But when actual situation comes, then my conviction will be tested. How much faith I have. Will I simply depend? Like Haridas Thakur would simply chant until he chanted 192 rounds each day, until he completed 192 rounds of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra counted. He would not even drink water or eat or sleep. And that was his everydays. And Goswamis also, like Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, every day they would chant 128 rounds every single day. Plus, they would offer so many, I think, 2000 Dandvat Pranams to Vaisnavas and so many thousand Dandvat Pranams to the deities every day. Sankhya Purvaka, right? By count, they would do this. So, to do like that, so that will cover your day, all day it will cover if you're doing like this, engaging in direct devotional service 24 by 7. And while doing that, your bhakti is not interrupted by karma, meaning having faith in karma or jnana. Jnana means there are different jnana angas, jnana sadhanas that we see in Bhagavad Gita 13th chapter. Amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa, kshantirarjavam, like that. You have to remain simple, you have to remain humble, and so on and so forth. There are different things. If you see that I have to do this in order to do bhakti. That is also dependence on jnana. So jnana karmadi anavritam. Avritam means to be covered. My bhakti is not covered by karma and jnana. So in this way, if one is able to do devotional service 24 by 7, who will be able to do this? That's the question here. Question is, to be able to do that, you need a qualification. In this group, who is able to do that? I'm not able to do that. But that is the standard of pure devotional service. That is the, in the very beginning of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami gives the definition of pure devotional service. And there are so many commentaries on this verse, on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and particularly on this verse by our Acharya, Srila Jiva Goswami gave, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gave. So, the qualification to do this is Dridha Shraddha. Now, our endeavor here is how to get that qualification. How to get that qualification of firm faith that if I took shelter of the holy name, I don't need anything else. I'll get everything. I will be maintained and I will get the highest result. Whatever I want will be obtained simply by this holy name. How to get that faith? So you have to hear about the glories of that holy name. You have to hear about the assurances given by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita. You have to hear about how Krishna reciprocated with devotees who took full shelter of him from Bhagavatam, from Chaitanya Charitamrita. By hearing about these again and again from the lips of pure devotees, then we also get confidence. Yes, it works. Actually, simply by hearing also, what happens when you hear is you're receiving mercy. That's why you have to hear from pure devotees. By paying by your oral reception, by listening to pure devotees, that's also service. You're receiving the mercy of the pure devotee. The thing is, the Lord, the Supreme Lord is Achintya. Achintya means inconceivable. And my tools, my mind, my ears, my senses, these are all material. They're limited. They cannot grasp that which is inconceivable. Then how I will get confidence in the Lord? How I will get confidence in bhakti? Bhakti is also the Lord's Swarupa Shakti. That's also inconceivable. How I can get firm faith in bhakti and Krishna, who is inconceivable, while I am material, my faculties, my tools, my senses, my mind, they are material, and he is inconceivable. How I can get confidence in this? How I can get that firm faith? So when we hear, we are also receiving mercy from the pure devotees. Through that mercy, we are able to put faith in that which is inconceivable. Otherwise, it's not possible. So now coming back to why we have to understand the technicalities. Here, what is Srila Prabhupada saying in the purport? That all the preachers engaged in the service of ISKCON should be very expert in putting forward strong arguments and defeating all types of atheists. That is why we did all that exercise on that verse, text 49, because these are the arguments that will be put forward by the atheists. We should be prepared with the arguments, how to counter their arguments based on logic. If you say this is the verse in Bhagavad Gita, they won't accept. The society is not so advanced now. They say it is advanced. Actually, it is degraded. Previously, in an advanced society, everyone accepted the Vedas. Even if he was a, what do you say, not a devotee, he would accept the Vedas. So, based on Vedas, you could defeat a person by quoting from Vedas, from Shastra. That much culture they had. But now, if you quoted from Vedas or from Bhagavad Gita, people may not accept it. People won't accept it. They will accept logic. So we should also be prepared to defeat them by logic. So that is the other reason why we have to learn. That's what I was trying to get at. Uh, Even if I am able to practice for myself, I may not need it. But actually, even for myself, see, there is Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama. In Nectar of Devotion, we say, based on faith, based on Shraddha, a devotee is categorized as Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama. Uttama devotee is he whose faith is very firm. Prauda Shraddha. Prauda Shraddha means very mature faith, like the trunk of a tree. It's not easy to break the trunk. You cannot break the trunk of a tree. Similarly, his faith cannot be shaken. And what is this faith? How did he get this faith? This faith is rooted in Shastra. The definition of Drida Shraddha is Shastrartha Vishwasaha. Shastra Artha Vishwasa. Shastra Artha means the conclusion of Shastra. He has firm faith in the conclusion of Shastra. And what does that mean? That means Shastre Yuktecha Nipunaha. He is expert. Nipuna means expert in Shastra and Yukti. He is expert. He can quote from Shastra. Based on Shastra, he can firmly establish bhakti. That bhakti is the highest sadhana. That Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the living entities, only dharma, highest dharma, actually only dharma. Jivera Swarupa Hoy Krishnera Nityadas. His Swarupa, his constitutional position is to serve Krishna. This one Uttama Bhakta can firmly establish based on Shastra because he is expert in Shastra, and also Yukti, logic. What type of logic? Logic which is based on Shastra, not independent logic. Not independent logic. That means anyone can come to him. Like here we see Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu. He defeated the Buddhist leader. It doesn't matter. Either through logic or through Shastra, he can completely defeat the opponent and establish bhakti. That is Uttama Bhakta. When you come to Madhyama Bhakta also has faith. He has faith. However, because he may not be an expert in Shastra, he won't be able to, he may not won't be. At times, if there's a very strong opponent on the other side, and if he asks tricky questions, he may, he may not be able to answer. And if he is not able to answer, what happens? When somebody asks you a question from Shastra about bhakti, when somebody questions your faith in bhakti, why you're doing this bhakti, and if you are not able to answer them, what happens is there's a crack in your faith. You may not see it immediately, but gradually that crack can, yes, Prabhuji, gradually that crack can get bigger and bigger, and it can even break your faith. That's the problem. Therefore, Madhyama Bhakta has faith. That means he is capable of doing. So this is the qualification. Strong faith is the qualification to do 24 hours Shravanam Kirtanam, etc. Uttama Bhakta, yes, he has the qualification, he can do. Madhyama Bhakta, based on faith, we are saying. That means he doesn't have a strong faith yet. Again, Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama can be categorized based on different criteria. One who is Uttama Bhakta based on faith is not necessarily Uttama Bhakta based on uh, his realizations. He may be a different person, based on your uh, practices that you follow, the worship, the deity that you worship, so many different factors. Based on that, you can categorize devotees as first, second, third. Here we are specifically talking about first, second, third based on faith. One who has firm faith, he is Uttama, and only he is qualified to do this Uttama Bhakti. If you don't have firm faith, you may be doing it, but you are not called Adhikari. One who has Uttama faith, right? Who has firm faith, he is Adhikari to do this pure devotional service. He is Adhikari. Madhyama, he has faith, but he's not called Adhikari. Why? Because anytime his faith may be shaken because he's not firm in Shastra. He's not firm in Shastra. And what about Kanishta? Kanishta's faith is very komala, very tender, like a small sapling. You can just break it. So his faith can be broken very, very easily. So certainly he's also not qualified. So faith is like the fuel. Fuel. As long as you have fuel, your car is running. When you run out of fuel, car will stop. If your faith is firm, you can continuously perform Shravanam Kirtanam. When you fall short in faith, your Shravanam Kirtanam will stop. That is why Srila Prabhupada instructed us to read his books scrutinizingly every day. Along with chanting at least 16 rounds, he said we should read. At different times, he gave different numbers. 4 hours a day, 2 hours a day, like that. Every day you have to read. This is important. Attend Bhagavatam classes and read Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya. Otherwise, why he sat up all night long to write these books? For us to read, it is required every day. Chanting 16 rounds and also reading. What happens when you read? You are hearing. You are hearing Krishna's assurance in Bhagavad Gita. If you become my devotee, I will give you full protection. We get confidence. That means our faith is getting built. When you're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, you hear the prayers of Kunti Maharani, you hear the prayers of Dhruva Maharaj, prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, then you get confidence. How Krishna is protecting his devotees. Your faith is becoming strong. When your faith is strong, you have your fuel that will drive your car. What is driving? Driving is performing Shravanam Kirtanam. So they go hand in hand. You must be reading also, reading, hearing, and chanting. Your chanting will be nourished when you're reading. But the reading is also direct devotional service. Shravanam Kirtanam. So when you're reading and hearing, that is Shravanam. Kirtanam is your chanting and speaking, that is Kirtanam. So you get help, and it is directly devotional service also. So please don't neglect reading Srila Prabhupada's books. So now, okay, maybe 10 more minutes. Prabhu ke Vaishnava jani Bauddha ghare gela sakala Bauddha militabe kumantrana koila. Okay, so these Buddhists, they felt ashamed and they became fearful when everyone was laughing. So they left that place. Prabhu ke Vaishnava jani, understanding that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a Vaishnava, Bauddha ghare gela, they went to their homes, their residence, wherever they were staying, they left. Sakala Bauddha mili tabe Kumantrana Koila. Now they all got together and they plotted against Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now they wanted to take revenge. They felt humiliated because they were defeated by Mahaprabhu. Now they plotted to harm Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to insult Mahaprabhu, to destroy Mahaprabhu some way or the other. They got together and they plotted. Sakala Bauddha Militabe Kumantrana. Kumantrana means plotting. The Buddhists could understand that Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a Vaishnava and they returned home very unhappy. Later, however, they began to plot against the Lord. So first they became very unhappy and then they started plotting. Apavitra anna eka thali te bhariya. Prabhu aage nila mahaprasada boliya. What did they do? They came back to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Apavitra anna. That means contaminated food. What can that be? Maybe some form of meat or something. Huh? Apavitra anna. Probably meat, or could be containing some abominable things. We don't know what it is. Maybe, like juta or something. But it is contaminated. Apavitra anna eka thalite bhariya. They nicely filled a big plate with this contaminated food, right? Prabhu aage nila mahaprasada boliya. And they brought it in front of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said, this is Mahaprasad, please accept it. Having made their plot, the Buddhists brought a plate of untouchable food before Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and called it Mahaprasad. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The word Apavitra Anna refers to food that is unacceptable for a Vaishnava. In other words, a Vaishnava cannot accept any food offered by an Avaisnava in the name of Mahaprasad. See, what is Srila Prabhupada saying? We very conveniently buy food from stores, Patel Brothers or anywhere else which is cooked, right? Some snacks or sweets or whatever. Do you know if it is cooked by a Vaishnava? What is Srila Prabhupada saying? What is apavitra? What is contaminated food? A Vaishnava cannot accept any food offered by an Avaishnava. And we nicely bring it and we offer it to the deity also. Thinking that, oh, now I have offered it to Krishna, so it is prasadam, I will eat. Who cooked it? Did a Vaishnava cook it? A Vaishnava cannot accept any food offered by an Avaishnava in the name of Mahaprasad. And sometimes, so we say this is Mahaprasad. We have to cook ourselves. First, we have to follow the standards, Vaishnava standards as laid by Srila Prabhupada for us. We should live by that standard. And then we should cook and offer to the Lord. Then it is prasadam. And even there also there are conditions. When you see that verse, patram, puspam, phalam, toyam, yome, bhaktya, prayacchati, tadaham bhaktupahritam asnami prayatatmanaha. If you see Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, he explains there that why Krishna is saying 2 times bhakti. Patram, puspam, phalam, toyam, yome, bhaktya. Bhaktya. That means yome bhaktya prayachati. Tadaham bhakti upaharitam. 2 times bhakti is saying. Why? Why is Krishna saying 2 times bhakti? First bhakti upaharitam means patram, puspam, phalam, toyam. Leaf, water, flower, fruit. Which is offered by a bhakta. Who is a bhakta? Bhakta is one who has dedicated his life to Krishna. Not part-time bhakta. Bhakta means, he's initiated. That means he has dedicated his life to Krishna. It's not a part-time job for him. Once in a while I go to temple, and once a year, on Janmashtami, I do something. And the rest of the time, I don't follow any rules or regulations. But I have a picture of Krishna in my house. No. Bhakta means you are actually dedicated. That means you have taken vows and you're living your life according to the principles of a devotee. That is a bhakta. You may be either a karma mishra bhakta or shuddha bhakta. We are all karma mishra bhaktas only because we are doing karma and we are doing some bhakti. But Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur calls both as Vaishnavas. Karma mishra bhaktas also he calls Vaishnavas. Shuddha bhaktas also he calls Vaishnavas only. But You should be one who is, so you have taken vows and you're living your life. That is a bhakta. Only when such a bhakta offers, he will eat it. Krishna is saying. Not that you go and buy someone else cooked. He's not a devotee. You don't even know, even if he's a meat eater and whatnot. We don't know. And someone else has cooked and we come and we offer it to Krishna and then we serve it out to devotees saying this is Mahaprasad. How it is Mahaprasad? Who will decide whether it is Mahaprasad or not? Shastra Pramanam. You have to go by Shastra, what Shastra says. So, uh, once, that is first. Patram, puspam, phalam, toyam, yome bhaktya prayacchati means he has to be a devotee. Then only he will accept, then only he will eat. Eat. Mahaprasad means Krishna should have eaten it. And the next bhakti is, even if he's a bhakta, right? He's dedicated, he's initiated and everything. But at the time of offering, he's not offering with love, right? At that time, like we have taken initiation. But today, I'm not in a good mood. So I know at lunchtime, I have to make the offering. I cooked something. I just put it in front of the altar. I chanted the mantras and everything. And I came. He says he won't eat it. No. You have to be a devotee. And while offering, at the time of offering, you have to offer with love, with love. My dear Krishna, please accept it. Then, because what is he tasting? He's not tasting our rice, dal, sabji, roti. He's tasting our bhakti, our love. That's what he's tasting. That is the condition. Krishna's condition standards are, his conditions are strict. So therefore, we shouldn't make Mahaprasadam so cheap. Mahaprasade Govinde Nama Brahmani Vaishnave. Swalpa Punyam Vratam Rajan Vishwasaneva Jayate. Yes, that mantra is for Mahaprasad. But what is that Mahaprasad? It is so potent. How is it so potent? Because Krishna has eaten it. And when will Krishna eat it? He will eat it when his devotee offers it. And when his devotee offers it with love, then it is Mahaprasad. That Mahaprasad, you touch it. Now we see in Chaitanya Mangal, what is the glory of that Mahaprasad. For that one grain of that, Narad Muni, he served Lakshmi Devi for I don't know how long, begging for that. And she also, very without informing Lord Narayan, gives little bit to Narad Muni. And as soon as that touches him, he just goes mad and he's dancing. He goes to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva says, and he's glorifying Mahaprasad. What happened to you? And Narada Muni is saying that, oh, don't ask me. He's in ecstasy. And Lord Shiva became, you didn't bring any Mahaprasad for me? And then in Narad Muni's nail, one small bit of a grain of rice was stuck. And he said, this is what is. And when Lord Shiva just took that in his mouth, he went wild in ecstasy. And he started dancing. And the way he was dancing, Bhumi Devi got pushed down. And the whole world is perturbed now. That looks like this is Pralaya. Then his consort, Goddess Parvati, had to go and beg him, my lord, what are you doing? What happened? And then she asked him, and he said, the glory of Mahaprasad. And then she said, I'm your wife. You didn't keep even little bit for me. So anyway, the pastime continues there. Lord Shiva said, you were not fortunate. You're not fortunate to get that Mahaprasad. So she became offended, sorry. And that's when she came to Navadvip and performed severe tapasya to get, she took a vow at that time that, oh, this Mahaprasad, which is so glorious, I will get this Mahaprasad from the Lord. And not only will I get it, I will distribute it to the whole world. Even to the lowest chandalas, everyone, dogs, everyone, I will distribute this Mahaprasad, which is so glorious. That is why in Jagannath Puri, Jagannath's Mahaprasad is first given to Vimala Devi. And then that Mahaprasad is distributed to everyone. So that is the glory of Mahaprasad. So we shouldn't make, my point is, Mahaprasad should not be made so cheap. Offer it with love. If you're not able to cook, then at least just offer some fruits or something. Offer it. First of all, we should live our lives according to the standards given to us. And then we should offer to the Lord. And that Mahaprasad should be distributed. Then we will see the consciousness improving in people. So here, these Buddhists, they brought untouchable food. Untouchable food, why? Because it's coming from Avaisnavas, simple. Prabhupada is saying, right? Anything given by a Vaishnava who's not a devotee, that's not Mahaprasad. A Vaishnava cannot accept any food offered by an Avaishnava in the name of Mahaprasad. This should be a principle for all Vaishnavas. When asked, what is the behavior of a Vaishnava? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, a Vaishnava must avoid the company of an Avaishnava. See? You may go to preach, but they cannot be your friends. As long as they are not Vaishnavas, you don't consider them your friend. You may have, you see, this is the thing, we shouldn't be confused. Compassion, those who are subordinate, they deserve compassion. Those who are superiors, they deserve to be worshipped. Those who are equals, they deserve your friendship. Who are your equals? Devotees are equals because they also love Krishna. They are serving Krishna yourself. They are friends. Your friendship should be with devotees, not with non-devotees. For non-devotees, you should have compassion. Compassion, not friendship. Not friendship. They are not equals. Whether they are colleagues or they are classmates, whoever they are. You should have compassion for them. And if they are non-devotees also, there are, those who are envious, then you should avoid them. You should avoid them. Those who are innocent, yes, then you can have compassion for them. It doesn't matter whether they are colleagues, neighbors, friends, family members, whoever they are. Of course, family members, you render service to them as, to set an example, you do your dharma. That is there. But devotees, friends are devotees. That's how you recognize a Vaishnava. Vaishnava will avoid Avaishnava association. A Vaishnava must avoid the company of an Avaishnava, Asat. The word Asat refers to an Avaishnava, that is, one who is not a Vaishnava. Asat Sangatyaga, a Vaishnava Achar. We will come to this later on in the 22nd chapter of Madhya Lila. Now we are in the 9th chapter. Asat Sangatyaga, a Vaishnava Achar. Chaitanya Charitamrit, Madhya Lila, chapter 22, text 87. A Vaishnava must be very strict in this respect and should not at all cooperate with an Avaishnava. Just try to understand. If we are working for under Avaishnava boss, if my boss is not a Vaishnava, my colleagues are not if my boss is a Vaishnava, my colleagues are Avaishnavas, and I'm spending 9 hours, 10 hours a day in their association, day after day after day after day, how am I going to maintain my Vaishnava consciousness? And then we say, no, I'm not affected by all this. I'm above this. No, we are not. If we are, then why Srila Prabhupada is saying this? Why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying? How do you recognize a Vaishnava? You recognize a Vaishnava by his attitude. A Vaishnava, Asat Sangha Tyaga. A Vaishnava Achar, you have to give up. There is a plan. There is a prayer by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in which he is glorifying Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the protector of Varnashrama Dharma. Protector of Varnashrama Dharma. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the protector of Varnashrama Dharma. When we have devotee communities called Daiva Varnashrama communities, then we can be associating with devotees all day long. This is the plan. The more we keep pushing it further away, we are seeing the consequences already. You see our next generation. What will be the condition of the generation after that? Anyway, I'll just continue this. Yeah, it's time also. Let me see. Oh, I'll just read this purport and I'll end. So a Vaishnava must be very strict in this respect and should not at all cooperate with an Avaishnava. If an Avaishnava offers food in the name of mahaprasadam, it should not be accepted. Straight. If an Avaishnava offers food in the name of mahaprasadam, it should not be accepted. Such food cannot be prasadam because an Avaishnava cannot offer anything to the Lord. Sometimes preachers in the Krishna consciousness movement have to accept food in a home where the householder is an Avaishnava. However, if this food is offered to the deity, it can be taken. Special consideration. Here now, don't bring, so we can also buy from store and then we'll offer it to the deity. No. Here, why the preacher is going to Avaishnava's house? To inspire that person to take to Krishna consciousness. If I went and ate what he cooked, he will become pleased and he would want to do what pleases me. Then I will tell him, you please chant Hare Krishna. You start worshipping the Lord. Then he may also start. So for the sake of preaching, some lenience is given. But temporarily, there also, you take your deity and offer that to the deity and you instruct that Avaishnava how to cook, not touching the pots in which he cooks meat or other things like that. Sometimes preachers in the Krishna consciousness movement have to accept food in a home where the householder is an Avaishnava. However, if this food is offered to the deity, it can be taken. Ordinary food cooked by an Avaishnava should not be accepted by a Vaishnava. Even if an Avaishnava cooks food without fault, he cannot offer it to Lord Vishnu, and it cannot be accepted as Mahaprasad. A Vaishnava cannot offer to the Lord. As I told you in the beginning, see, Prabhupada is also quoting patram, puspam, phalam, toyam. Yome bhaktya. Bhaktya means he has to be a Vaishnava. Vaishnava means he has taken vows and, he has surrendered his life. Either he is a karma mishra bhakta or shuddha bhakta, either. But he has to be a devotee. Only he can offer to the Lord. Non-devotee cannot offer. Even if an Avaishnava cooks food without fault, right? He cooks vegetarian, etc. He cannot offer it to Lord Vishnu. And it cannot be accepted as Mahaprasadam if he has offered. According to Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 9:26, patram puspam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayacchati tadaham bhaktupahritam asnami prayatatmanah. Here asnami means I will eat. One thing is, when you offer to the Lord, your food becomes free from karma. That is there. That is there. But is that what we are interested in? That yagya shishtasinah santo muchyante sarva kilbishai bhunjate te tvagham papa ye pachanti atma karanat. So as yagya, you offer your food to the Lord so that you don't get sinful reaction. That's not a devotee there. That's not a devotee. Everyone is supposed to do yagya, not just devotee. Everyone. Because if you don't offer food to the Lord, then you are simply, every morsel you eat is sin. Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita. So everyone offers. But everyone is offering, so Krishna is eating. Anyone is offering, Krishna is eating. No. What happens is it becomes karma free. By offering it to the Lord, that food is becoming free from karma. It's not binding you, that's all. But we are not simply interested in becoming free from karma. We want bhakti. We want prema. Krishna won't eat it. He will accept it. I will give you one example. People go to a king and offer gifts, right? Jewelry, let's say, clothes. So the king may say, okay, accepted, right? He will touch his hand, that's all. And then he'll give it to someone else, some other workers or, his other subordinates, he may just distribute it. Not that everything that anyone brings, he'll just wear. No, he won't wear. But someone who's very dear to him, maybe his grandson or his wife or somebody with great love and affection, they get a special dress made for the king. That is loving offering. Then he wears it to please that person. You understand? So similarly, when a devotee is offering, that is a loving offering. But as yajna, when you're offering to the Lord, that's not a loving offering. It becomes karma free, that's all. He will accept when you offer, but he won't eat it. Asnami means I will eat it, he's saying. But when he will eat? Only when it is offered by a devotee, and even while offering bhakti with devotion, with love, when he's offering, then only he will eat. Condition. If one offers me with love and devotion, a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. Krishna can accept anything offered by his devotee with devotion. An Avaisnava may be a vegetarian and a very clean cook. Okay? Sometimes we say, oh, they're very clean and everything. And even vegetarian also. No, no, we are not vegetarians. Or when we go to the restaurant, we'll see, oh, it's vegetarian, we can eat, no problem. No, no, no. That's not the standard. An Avaishnava may be a vegetarian and a very clean cook, but because he cannot offer Vishnu the food he cooks, it cannot be accepted as Mahaprasad. It is better that a Vaishnava abandon such food as untouchable. That's why if we want our bhakti to grow nicely, we have to first of all understand, learn the science of bhakti, and then apply it in our lives. That's when we will see improvement in bhakti. If we keep compromising, then no. So thank you so much. I will end here. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki
Swami
Jai.
ki jai. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very
Samaveta.
wonderful class.
Thank you. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna.
Does anyone have any questions? No questions.
No, Mataji. Just I wanted to say that it is really very good, and it is not only about um, sometimes when people follow some things for so long, they can lose its essence. But it is very important to keep reminding yourself every day. And one thing of Guru Maharaj always is stuck in my head is like, one has to be very strict on themselves, lenient and compassionate to others, but very strict on themselves for their sadhana. So when we consciously try, follow and be strict on ourselves, that is when we can always keep reminding ourselves what is the essence we are following. Like you're saying, bhakti, like, it's about love. The offering is about love. It's not about, how we offer is more important than what we are offering. What is our consciousness with love and affection, and with the determination to do the best. That is the whole underlying theme of everything. Whatever daily services we do, that is the whole intention, is loving devotional service to please Krishna. So that is what. Thank you so much. Such nice class.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
You
Hare
nicely
Krishna.
summarized and, like icing on the top. Yes.
No, Mataji.
Thank
You're
you.
so right. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki
Ki
Jai.